Hello everyone, I hope you had a fantastic game week 21 with lots of big green arrows. Unless you overtook me, of course, because we can't be having that. This video is going to be a complete guide to game week 22. I'm going to be covering a lot of FPL topics in the most efficient manner possible. We'll be looking at my chip strategy for the rest of the season, players that you should be planning to target and transfer over the next couple of weeks, a nice little game week 21 review, and of course my team selection and my transfer plans for game week 22. So as always, please make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell as there is a lot more content on the way. Starting off, we're going to be looking at the very highly requested chip strategy that I'm looking to use for the rest of the season. Now, I do have two strategies that I'm potentially looking to use. I personally have all of my chips available, so I have based it around that. But even if you've used your triple captain, for example, earlier in the season on Haaland, it won't make that much difference. In game week 24, I will be looking to activate my triple captain for Liverpool's double game week. I think this is a pretty standard move, as most people with chips will need to start burning through them soon. Mo Salah is of course the obvious choice for captaincy, as he has two nice fixtures against both Bournemouth and Everton. Salah did blank in game week 21, which I predicted by the way, but that is to be expected against the future Premier League champions, Nottingham Forest. So, going forward in time a few game weeks, I would then look to activate my wild card in game week 30. One of the key reasons for this is that it's after the international break. Also, around this period, some teams start to go on some really nice fixture runs, in particular Arsenal, who play Fulham, Brentford, Everton, Bournemouth, Ipswich and Palace. Not quite in that order, but 4 of those are home fixtures. Manchester City also start their excellent run of games from game week 30 onwards. Over the last 8 game weeks, Man City play some fantastic teams to target, such as Leicester, Everton, Southampton and Wolves. Tottenham could also be a potential team to bring assets in for, as in game week 31 and 32 they play Southampton and Wolves. Not a lot of people seem to know this, but game week 33 is likely to be another double game week. Now, once we find out which teams are going to be included in the double game weeks, I'm hoping that I can use my wildcard 3 weeks earlier to exploit this and have a really strong bench. And then yes, you guessed it, I will activate my bench boost. So all these chips are kind of coming a bit thick and fast together. We're going to move along to literally the next game week 34. On the back of the FA Cup semi-finals, there is going to be a blank game week for a handful of teams. Myself and many others are still likely to have triple Liverpool in their sides, so this is the perfect opportunity to activate your free hit. I personally have my eye on quite a few players for this free hit period. Palmer at home to Everton, Raul Jimenez against Southampton, Isak against Ipswich, and Chris Wood against Brentford. The only downside to this plan is that I will have to use the assistant manager chip in game week 36 to 38. Apart from Manchester City, no team really has the best set of fixtures. What I quite like about this is it does leave me the opportunity to do something absolutely mental. If I'm chasing a particular rank or a particular person in my mini league, I could stick the manager chip on someone like Ipswich. They could be in the thick of a relegation battle and they play Brentford, Leicester and West Ham. Or I could be a little bit safer, I suppose, and use it on a team like Wolves, who play Brighton, Crystal Palace and Brentford. Let's move on to some players to target for game week 22. Just a pre-warning, I am recording this either partway through or before the end of some of the Wednesday night fixtures. And of course, I'm going to assume that you own Isak, Palmer and Salah. Anyway, 2 players that you really need to consider are Jacob Murphy and Anthony Gordon. Gordon has 5.8 expected points in game week 22 and Murphy has 4.1. Currently, I personally believe that Murphy is the best cheap midfielder in the game. And a little bonus is that him and Isak have the best link up in the Premier League this season with 5 goals. But my preference is Gordon, which I told everyone a while ago when they were considering Martin Odegaard. A must-buy striker and a must-own player is Chris Wood. He continues to perform even in their tricky fixtures and is currently the 3rd highest scoring attacker in the game. His upcoming fixtures are Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton and Fulham, so he has to be on everyone's radar. My only flag from a data standpoint would be that he is massively overperforming his XG because his finishing is that clinical. But I love Chris Wood, get him in. So more on a team basis, Brighton, Fulham, Palace, Liverpool all have quite good fixture runs coming up. So picking players from these clubs could be quite a safe option. One player that springs to mind for me could be Danny Welbeck. We know he's back in full training and we know when he plays, João Pedro becomes a more valuable asset as well. Just one to think about. Let's do a really quick review of my team's performance for game week 21. As it stands, I currently have 71 points and I still have João Pedro to play his away fixture to Ipswich this evening. The standout performer is obviously keeping the armband on Alexander Isak. Gordon also came in clutch with another return. David Raya picked up one of his first save points of the year to make it a nice 2. Another really poor performance from both Castagna and Trent, so I'm definitely thinking I need to move one of them on ASAP. I'm not going to lie to you, after Tuesday's fixtures I thought I was absolutely cooked. I was on 15 points with 6 players left to play. Munoz surprisingly came in with an unexpected clean sheet, and of course in the same team, Eze continued his good form. I am expecting a green arrow, but I'll have to wait for confirmation. Now, let's move on to my plans for Game Week 22. So this is my current team selection for Game Week 22 and my early transfer plans. I have 2 free transfers and 0.7 million in the bank. In goal, after weeks and weeks and weeks of mentioning it, I will finally be making that move to Alisson. Liverpool's fixture against Brentford is hardly ideal, but I do want to get in Liverpool assets for the double game week that are going to play both games. In my opinion, there's only a couple of Liverpool players that fit into that category, and Alisson has to be one of them. Now, very early doors, my second free transfer, I'm getting rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is literally doing my head in. He's far too expensive, and annoyingly I did have quite big hesitations to buying him in the first place, and he is making me live to regret that decision. With all the contract drama, he just doesn't seem like the same player, so I'm going to be swapping him out for Ibrahim Konate. I owned this guy for a large portion at the start of the season, and he was brilliant for me. Next to Konate, I'm obviously sticking with Munoz. He's just got a clean sheet and was very unlucky to not get an attacking return. Annoyingly, West Ham have just got their new manager and played pretty well against Fulham, so they will likely score. But let's hope Munoz can get an attacking return. Currently, I have Castagna starting for his away fixture at Leicester, but this could easily swap for Gabriel's home fixture at Aston Villa. He does offer a little bit more attacking threat, and now that I don't have David Raya, I could see me making that swap. Moving into midfield, I hope that Anthony Gordon can continue his fantastic form at home to Bournemouth. His underlying data is excellent and their fixtures are very good, so for me personally, he is a long-term hold. Let's hope he can make it 7 returns in a row. Lucky for me and many other FPL managers, Crystal Palace have really seemed to improve over the last few weeks. Eze is definitely keeping his spot in my team after his 4th return in 3 game weeks. Despite Mo Salah's blank against Forest, he is not going anywhere, and if there is a team to target for him to return to goal-scoring form, it probably is Brentford. Now, the armband is currently with Cole Palmer at home to Wolves. Wolves have conceded the 2nd most goals away from home in the Premier League this season. There's no data to back this, but Palmer's one of those players that's just due a big return sometime soon. I think he could potentially do something crazy, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. Up top, I have the same dilemma that I've been going through for weeks. As it stands, I'm playing all 3 of João Pedro, Raul Jimenez and Isak. I don't know about anyone else, but I am so fed up of owning 2 cheap strikers. Historically, investing more in your midfield actually pays off in FPL, but owning both João Pedro and Raul Jimenez just seems too unreliable. João Pedro hasn't played his Game Week 21 fixture for me yet, as he plays that tonight against Ipswich. If he does perform, I will be looking to take a hit, transferring out Raul Jimenez and bringing in Chris Wood. I am so sick of not owning him. He was unbelievably reliable for me throughout the first half of the season, but don't get me wrong, I did sell him at the right time, just before he went through that little run of about 3 blanks, I think. But now, I just want him back. On the bench, I currently have Fabianski, Rodgers, Gabriel and Greaves. If you have any questions regarding anything that I've covered in today's video, please put them in the comment section below. The support on the last video was amazing and I have so much content on the way. Thank you all for watching, please like, subscribe, and I will see you soon.